Welcome. Could you please tell me who you are and what you're doing? What's your job?
Sure, of course. My name is Peter Phinney. I am from Los Angeles, and I have a very small company that works in the adult entertainment industry worldwide, removing illegal content.
So you mean the porn industry?
Porn industry, that's right.
Okay.
We say adult entertainment in the
Yeah,
United
that sounds
States.
sounds nice. I can imagine.
But it is definitely pornography.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
And you remove illegal copies from the internet?
That's right. We actually act, I have about 40 people who work for me. They're located around the globe, searching in 17 languages now on the internet, actually posing as though they were trying to find free porn. We look in blogs, we look in news groups, we look on Google, we do typical searches just the way that people would do if they were looking for movies that they wanted to enjoy themselves for free. Mm-hmm. And when we find them, we use an American statute called the Digital Millennium Copyright Act to have the content removed from offer.
And if it isn't removed, you sue them, or
we do ultimately, but generally it's removed. 99% of the time, people comply with the DMCA. There is what's called a safe harbor provision of the DMCA. Anyone who does business in the United States, and that's virtually every internet company because we're such a large audience, has to adhere to the policies of the DMCA, or they open themselves up for a lawsuit. So if they don't comply, then that's the next step, is to go legal.
And why are you here? Because we're not talking about porn or the adult industry. We're talking about music.
Well, Booma invited me, and really because I think there are many parallels between our industry and yours. The porn industry has been on the front of technology since its beginnings, and we have suffered the same kinds of problems that the music industry is suffering now, and we've been quite successful in terms of dealing with piracy. So I think there are some perhaps lessons to be learned from what porn has done.
And what are those lessons?
Well, using the DMCA is one of them. Pursuing piracy because it's worth pursuing.
Because you can see a decline when you pursue.
Absolutely, yes.
Really? Yeah?
Yes. And what I represent about 450 different adult brands, mostly in the United States, but many of them abroad as well. And they tell us that they see an increase in their membership, they see an increase in their video sales as a direct result of the piracy being removed from offer. Obviously, if you want content that's of a particular kind of quality from a certain studio with a certain actor or actress, then if you can't find it for free, you pay for it. Mm-hmm. So what we try to do is remove all of the free content to the greatest extent that we can, and then what's left people buy.
More lessons to be learned?
I think that's the primary one. I think porn has been constantly evolving and dealing with different technologies as they're made available. Piracy also deals with the same thing. Piracy has been evolving as well. And what we have found is that it's worth continuing to pursue pirates. There was a time 15 years ago, 10 years ago, when it was very difficult to find illegal content online. You had to have specialized software. Now virtually anyone can find it. It's extremely simple, and the software that's developed is it's very user-friendly, made for just the everyday internet user. I think what music needs to be aware of is that piracy is here to stay, and that it is worth fighting. That we have found in the porn industry that we can make a serious difference. The other thing that we've done in the porn industry, which I think music can benefit from, is that the porn studios that were typically thought of themselves as competitors are now working together. That's a very important lesson that porn has learned, and I hope that the music industry will adopt that same sort of model, that by using your trade associations, people like Booma, to represent groups of musicians, there's great strength in numbers. The piracy community is extremely strong, but they can't organize the way that you can, and it's important to organize against them.
And in music you see streaming services. Do you see the same in porn?
Yes.
Yeah?
In porn we call them tube sites. There are two types of tube sites. One that actually hosts the content. They have the content is sitting on their servers. They pay the bandwidth and they stream the content so you watch it live, essentially, as it's being broadcast. Then there are leeching tube sites, which actually take the content from the first type of tube site, but don't pay the bandwidth. In some cases, these people are making as much as 200,000 euros in a single year, one pirate. They're making more money in many cases than the studios are making. So what we have learned now is that if we fight the tubes individually, we can conquer them. And you will have the same kind of luck, I think, in music.
Yeah, but a service like Spotify is also, well, a solution in a way, because then people will start paying at least something.
Yes, it's true. And porn is wrestling with that same sort of idea. One of the other things that music is perhaps ahead of porn on is that I think the music industry has come to understand that a microprocess, a small fee, $1 to buy a song, is probably a good way to fight piracy, because if you make it inexpensive to buy legally, then it's not so worth stealing.
Yeah.
That's something that the porn industry is wrestling with, because typically the way that our industry works is that the porn studios have a membership site. You pay $30 a month, and you have unlimited access to their content for $30 a month. But now this new model, which we've learned from you, is to buy individual clips for very much less money. Buy one clip, use it for a few days, throw it away and buy another, which is a very interesting model, and it's something that we're just beginning to look at in our industry now.
Are there more lessons you can learn from the music industry, you feel?
I hope so. I know we are very similar kinds of people, in that the porn industry is made up of primarily very young people, very entrepreneurial people, and I think the music industry is very similar. What we need to do, I think, when you think about the sort of broader internet community, the entertainment community, I think it's very important for us to make sure that this new generation of net users now understand that there's a difference between free information online and free entertainment online. That entertainment is something that should be paid for, that information is something that should be freely exchanged.
Maybe, and probably the newspapers think about that in a different way.
I think they do. Yes, I think you're absolutely right.
Say the same. Well, you should pay, but at least we have this divide.
We have this in common. Yes, in our entertainment industry, and I think that's it's a big strength for us.
But people need to be educated in that.
Yes.
How long will it take? How long will you have work?
Well, I hope forever, but I hope that our work continues to evolve. I don't think that piracy is going to go away. I don't think it's ever going to stop entirely.
No?
But we make a big distinction in the porn industry between the end user, the person that's downloading for their own use one time, and the pirate who's actually uploading that material and making it available to hundreds of thousands of people. That's what we want to stop. The individual end user, we can never really deal with that effectively, and neither can the music industry, in my opinion. But I think we need to go after the people who are seriously making incredible sums of money on content that they spent nothing to produce, that they have no stake in, and they take no risk. That seems to me unfair, and I think we need to level the playing field by making it very difficult for people who don't create to profit from the creation.
Another thing that the porn industry and the music industry have in common is that it's much easier to make your own music or to make your own video and to put it out there.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Does that affect the industry at all?
Yes, and I think we have the same kind of area in our industry that you do. We have what we call mom and pop shops, where literally it's a husband and wife. The husband runs the website, the wife poses for the camera, and they produce their own porn in-house, and they sell it online and make a living at it. Yeah.
But does that cost the industry money, or do you think, well, it's a different kind of movie they make?
No, you mean cost the industry money because it takes away an audience?
Yeah, because people can only watch...
No, I don't think so. I think there will always be a market for what we call amateur porn. And there will always be a market for professional porn that's highly produced with musical soundtracks and all of that sort of thing. Obviously, the husband and wife team, the wife may be very pretty, but some of the porn models that work for the adult studios, the large studios, are absolutely beautiful women. And there will always be a market for people wanting to watch beautiful women.
Yeah, so that if you compare that to the music industry,
There's some fabulous orchestrated music that is highly developed, and there's some sort of new grunge music that's coming out of someone's garage that's very important and will rise to the level of the highly produced music at some point, or may not, depending on how the artist feels about that. But I think there will always be a market for both.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, my pleasure.